Are you worried you're not getting the best sleep? Huh, Alex?
No,
Mom of
100%.
two, one little one? Well, it may have something to do with what the temperature is when you're going to bed. Our health expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, joins us now. Welcome, Dr. Kohli.
Thank you, ladies.
So what is the best temperature?
We've all had those nights when we're tossing and turning, right? Too hot, too cold. So for most healthy adults, 65 to 67 degrees. Where you need
That's
to
cold.
No, that
Is that
makes
where you guys
sense.
do it, or?
I'm at 68 and I could go down to 67. My
Yeah.
husband, on the other hand, wants like 75.
We're like 72, 73.
It's
Ew.
sweltering.
So here's what happens when it's too warm. You actually take longer to fall asleep, and the quality of the sleep that you're getting, both the deep sleep and the REM, which is the one where you're dreaming, the most restful sleep, those are both compromised. So really the studies show 65 to 67 for most adults. Now as you get older, your ability to regulate your body temperature goes down a little. So some older adults prefer closer to 70 for their temperature, but it's always something very interesting that I've thought about because I'm right at the 67 mark.
Oh, you are?
That's cold.
So what about her for kids, though? So like for her, Piper's what, a year?
Yes.
And then you got a 5-year-old. Should they be a little bit warmer?
Okay, so that's exactly probably why you guys put it a little warmer, because infants do need to be a little warmer. So they have this same problem with an immature thermostat, essentially. So their brain hasn't developed. They can't shiver. They can't sweat. Infants really can't sweat, and they can't regulate their body heat, and they lose most of their temperature through their skin, a lot through their head as well. And in fact, sudden infant death syndrome has been linked to overheating
Really?
of infants when they're sleeping, exactly. So they want to really be between 68 and 72 if you're an infant. Now, when you start becoming 1 to 3 years, the more toddler age, which I think your other daughter's a little older,
Yes.
right, Alex, and yours too. But 1 to 3, they start to act like adults. They can shiver, they can sweat, so they're a little bit closer to that adult range of 65 to 70. By the time they're 3 years old, 3 to 10, they're basically like adults. So they can regulate their body temperature, throw off the covers, do all the things that they need to do.
Interesting. So kids under 3 don't shiver.
Kids under 1 don't shiver.
Under
So
1,
1 to
okay,
3, they
okay.
start to shiver. And so the way that you can really tell if your little infant is too hot or too cold is to slip your hand kind of into their clothes in their back. And if it's hot or if it's starting to feel moist, then they're way too hot.
I've read too, if they're cold, they'll like kind of be turtle, right? They'll put their limbs underneath themselves when they're cold. Like
makes
that's their way to
sense.
warm up. Is that true?
Yeah, so think about what happens in the womb, right? That's
fetus position.
Exactly right. So it's a very comforting position, and it decreases the surface area. So remember I told you they lose all their heat through their skin. So by cuddling up like that, they decrease the surface area. Now you want to keep them relatively tight, but not too tight, because we know that loose clothing and blankets can also be associated with sudden infant death syndrome. So it is really important to think about your thermostat and think about bedtime routines to start getting your body the right temperature for bed, so to speak.
I know. Do you wear socks when you sleep? I think you do.
No,
Yes, you
look at this judgment over here. I just don't want to be
So how do you guys
cold when
get
I'm
ready for
sleeping.
bed?
Oh, okay. So I'm very particular about how I get ready with my ritual.
Okay.
I have to have the thermostat, and I fight my husband on the thermostat. I have to have I literally have texts being like, make sure you do not turn it up, because he stays up much later than me. Yes, Alex. And then, and then I like to have a sound machine on. I like to have the fan in the bathroom on.
Okay.
I like to have a little tiny crack in the window, and then I like to spritz my pillow with lavender spray.
So this is
That's
all very
my ritual,
specific.
and it works.
But
Very
I'm actually going to give
specific.
you an A on this, Sam,
Oh.
because I'm endorsing everything you're doing.
Okay.
So the way that our brain knows that it's time for bed is our body starts to drop its temperature 1 to 2 degrees. That's why if you've ever noticed you're watching a movie at night or something, you feel a little bit cold, right? Because your core temperature actually starts to go down at night, starts to go up in the morning. So what you need to do is to accelerate that process by opening the window, turning down the thermostat, wearing cotton pajamas. Don't wear those synthetic things because they don't let your skin breathe. Making sure you're getting a cooling mattress. And I love the fan, as long as it's not pointing straight at
It's
your
not.
face.
It's always
What about
angled
a
away.
ceiling fan?
A ceiling fan's okay too, but just keep it on low. So one thing you want to do if you're using a ceiling fan, especially, is make sure those blades are really clean, because otherwise it can aerosolize allergens, dust, and all kinds of dirt particles right into your face. If you have anything pointing at your face, you're higher risk of your skin and your eyes drying out. So my fan points right at my face because I need that circulation.
You do? Okay.
But it's not good for you. So really what you want is pointing at the wall, oscillating so that it's keeping the air sort of moving, and then keeping it on a low speed, making sure that those blades are really nice.
I want to hear her grade. What's your sleep routine?
I don't.
So do you use any
Do you have
lavender?
any routine? your skin routine.
Yeah, I take a shower, I do my face, I do.
Is that at night?
I take care of myself, and then I just hop in bed.
So taking a shower, a hot bath, even though it sounds paradoxical
Yes.
because your body heats up, it triggers that cooling response
Yes.
faster.
So what's her grade?
So
Samantha.
we'll give her an A-. How about
Yes, as long as
She
it's an
always
A.
beats me. Always, Dr. Kohli, thank you.